Paul, game of two halves. Let's talk about the first one. Get that out of the way.
Oh yes, get that out of the way quite quick. Yeah, look, I have to own the first half. I went 4-4-2. I thought that if our two centre forwards put pressure on their two centre halves, the way they play and the way their fullbacks come inside the pitch, we thought we'd be able to stop them. And we worked on it all week. So in fairness to the lads, that's on me, which was disappointing. And they thoroughly deserved their lead at half time. I've got no issues with that. And then we had to make changes during the half. Offie was on a booking. Just didn't feel like he could get close or tackle, so we had to change that. And the goals, the shape was an issue, obviously, but none of the goals have come from a problem with the shape. It's come from missed tackles or not defending crosses or stopping people coming inside. So what could go wrong did go wrong first half. And then obviously we got him in at half time and spoke to him. And I'd like to say that, we come in and we're throwing bottles around and all that, but it wasn't the case. We were calm as anything, saying, look, you can't perform like that. You need to show some real integrity and some real effort. And I just felt that in the second half, although we were a man down, it's very difficult to criticise anything any player did. The work ethic was there, the tackles were there, there's a bit more aggression. We weren't trying to be too intricate in the final third, obviously, and we had much more of a goal threat. So, I leave knowing that we have the players to perform, but we can't perform at a level below where we should, because against anyone in this league or in any league, you're just not going to win. And I feel like, we let everybody down in the first 45 minutes.
I mean, obviously lost some width with Mendes Lang being out. Kane Wilson came in. How do you feel that kind of went?
Not amazing, is probably fair to say. And like Kane hasn't played since last season. He's only played like half an hour, but it was sort of needs must. I thought that it would be better to start with Kane and bring an Aaron on, or the other way round. So he's obviously ring rusty. So we did miss Nat's threat, and that's probably in my head why I thought if we went with two, we'd have more goal threat. That's the honest truth, but. I thought there was glimpses of Kane. He just needs to get a little bit fitter and sharper, which is quite good. But then, I thought like Rush was outstanding down the middle. He's a constant threat, so that was really pleasing. I thought obviously Pato played in about 3 different positions for me, which was good. And I thought the midfield too worked tirelessly, and then they were aided by the substitutions we brought on. But I'm just disappointed. I know obviously it's about winning points, winning games, sending everyone home happy, but just from a pure keeping a 52-year-old happy, if that overhead kick would have gone in the end, it would have absolutely ripped the roof off, which would have been great. But not to be. But at least I asked them at half time. Look, I'll know more about you in the final whistle. I can't keep saying this, I know, but I know more about your character at the final whistle. And I thought, in fairness to the man, the lads give everything.
Just final one on the first half. Luke Offord, I mean, I suppose in these situations maybe you have to change something, and there's always a kind of full guy. And of course, he was on a booking as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's not something any manager thinks, I can't wait to make a change before the half time. You don't want to embarrass any of your players, and Offie's been one of our outstanding defenders this season. So, but when he was on a booking and then they were cutting in and shooting, he didn't feel like he could get close. I can't stand there and it's 4 or 5 by half time. It's you can't retrieve anything. So unfortunately, yeah, you're right. Offie was the 4 guy. I didn't see it like that. And then obviously at half time, we then took Scotty off. We can't play with 2 men with 2 up top. So we flipped it, put a back 5 in, which made us look a lot steadier. And weirdly, we looked pretty dangerous on the counter attack with Rush. So there's food for thought in that.
And Callum Patterson, I wanted to mention him as well. He got man of the match, and I mean, he actually looked pretty tidy at centre back, didn't he?
Yeah, it was funny. I was speaking to Warnock yesterday, Neil, and he was saying, tell him you're playing him right back, because Warnock I think signed him as a right back. But when Pato done his talk to the lads this week, he put his Wikipedia page up of all the positions he's played, and I think he's played in every one bar goalkeeper. So he's just a proper, solid citizen, footballer, competitor. In fairness, his is the face that breaks me in the dressing room, because I can see how hurt he is losing, because he gives everything to win. And come here to be great. So so I feel like I've let him down more than most, I think, really. But he literally gives everything all the time, and if you have 11 competitors like that, well away from what talent you've got in the dressing room, you give yourself a right chance. So I'm glad that he did get man of the match, because I thought he was outstanding.
That second goal, it almost didn't come too late, because Jack Sanders obviously turned into Maradona or someone at the end there. But it's that goal did probably 5 minutes earlier.
And what I did think that, in open play, I'm not saying we were cutting them apart or anything like that, but nor were they to us really. But it was like you thinking, off a corner, if only we could just get one here or there. We did get one, but unfortunately today we didn't get another one. And on normal days, 2 goals at home are enough to win, but not today after our first half performance, which is disappointing.
I've got to mention the sending off as well, of course, because it's difficult enough being 3-0 down, but also a man down.
Yeah, I said to you off the record, I don't mind admitting it was one of the lowest points in my managerial career, when I was standing there 3-0 down and a player coming off before half time. Is like you thinking, wow. And we spoke to lads at half time, and I said, I need you to show some character, and I need you to sort of dig in and to fight, and not to lose the second half. Obviously, they didn't lose the second half, but so that pleases me. And it's difficult with 10 men, especially on our pitch. Our pitch is massive, which makes it even harder to press. It's nice if you're on a snooker table when you've only got 10. So, and there were some really good efforts, and that's what I'll try and remember when I try and go to sleep tonight.
That's going to cause you a problem at left back again, because you brought a left back in to replace a left back. He's going to be out for 3, isn't he now?
Yeah, it is a problem. Obviously, we play Chesterfield, who are on the back of 2 defeats like us, so it's a managerial must-win next week. That'll be a good build-up. But and we'll have to work out a way to play and cause them problems. But you're right, we do miss him for 3 games, and it is a problem. It always seems to, it doesn't rain but it pours. But I've got 23 centre mids, and luckily they're all available. No suspensions, and then when one left back gets suspended, so it's a bit of a problem. But we'll address it like we always do.
2-7-3 formation or something? No, is that enough?
7.
Too many.
Well, yes, too many. In my maths, if you're not putting a keeper in,
2-7-1. Second half was better though, obviously, and I suppose being 3-0 down and a man down at half time, and then being clapped off at the end. It doesn't happen often, I suppose, does it?
No, I appreciate the fans understand their football here. They didn't really boo him off at half time, which I appreciate them booing me. I completely get that, but I appreciate them staying with the lads. You want the lads to feel comfortable when they're playing, and like you say, for them to get clapped off, I think there's a real effort. I like to think if they'd have gone 6 or 7, then it's a problem. It is a problem. I'm well aware of the thin line between success and failure as a manager, but you lose 6 or 7 at home, that isn't a good position to be. And then when you try and reiterate positive stuff, because it isn't all about telling people off, it's trying to show them how good they can be. It's difficult when there isn't much to show them. But the performance second half, I was really pleased with. Even just we just had a more of a physical presence, and normally my teams have a physical presence. I didn't think first half we did. Like I said, we didn't really stop crosses. We didn't stop them coming inside. We didn't win many 50-50s. I actually thought one of the first tackles we actually did win was, later in the game, was when Dan Crowley. But I just don't think we won enough of the 50-50s. And until you do that, you don't deserve the right to go up the end and score. You have to do that part of the game. I just didn't think we did it collectively well enough today.
Do you think you learn more about your players after back-to-back defeats?
I suppose. Yeah. I don't think. I know it's never good, especially when you lose to the teams who are up there, because it feels like a bigger defeat, weirdly. But the defeat last week, although disappointing, didn't bother me, because I thought we were outstanding second half, but we didn't start the game well enough. Today we made a big emphasis on the lads about warming up a bit better than we did last week, being a bit sharper. It felt like the lads were in a good place, but then to go and lose the game, but then to finish it the way they did, it's still disappointing. You still learn things. Like I still learn things about myself. I've been doing this for 8 years. I don't say I've got all the answers, but and one of the things I learned today was that 4-4-2 on our pitch is a dream too far, possibly. So I have to own that. And then there's certain things that the lads can be proud of, but there's certain things that they know they have to be better at. You have to win your tackles. There's no You know, you have to stop crosses if you're in the team. So I think we'll learn about. I've definitely learned the fact that they've got character and they want to win because, you know, and they're behind what we're trying to do. If not, they'd have just, you know, sat in and given up second half. That wasn't the case, and like the amount of work that Gilbs and Kells put in the middle, and then so things like that really please me. But it is an issue, and I don't want to make a drama of it because then it becomes an issue, but a bigger issue. But the first half performance in the last two games hasn't been anywhere near what we'd expect. Now, if that is the opposition coming and thinking they're having a go straight away, if that's us turning up arrogant, if that's us undermotivated, if that's us nervous, you know, we have to try as coaches try and get to the cause of it, because it's going to hinder us if we keep giving up 45 minutes.
Cheers, Paul.
Always, thank you.